Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
This is how it's gonna be done. Set fire. Gonna end the game. Set fire. We're gonna make a name. Set fire. Oh, you'll remember this. I'm not gonna miss, 'cause I deserve this. Whoa, oh, oh, yeah, yeah. 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 Victory.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the At the Checker Truck Series. For another great night ahead of us here. Race number 14 just about to get set underway as we close in on the chase and crowning this series champion. Let's move on over to trackside here and get things going. I'm Oscar Jensen in the booth with Turn Sector Media here tonight. It's gonna be a wild and intense one here. I know there's gonna be a lot of things that these drivers are gonna have to face forward with tonight. A big field as well will be starting here things off tonight. Well, while I give the drivers a few more seconds to start gridding, let's take a look at the point standings here in just a moment and kind of sort things out and figure out where these guys, where these chase drivers enter this week after the finish from last week at Circuit of the Americas. As we get that pulled up here. This is our chase standings entering tonight at Richmond. Jordan Tross, our race leader. Jesse Gordon. Oh, I'm sorry. Those are not right. Those are wrong names that are not actually getting popped up. So I'm not quite sure if those where those names are overlapping. But we go through manually. Ian Blanchard finds himself in second. Trevor Brownlee finds himself in third. Bryce Shoemaker finds himself in fourth. Charles Van Scorik finds himself right behind. Alex Forrest, Tyler DeWeese. This is where you start to get things looking a little bit shady. Mitchell Williams, Abram Ghostin, David Versecki, Patrick Cambert, and Judson Curtis. I mean, Those guys going to have a lot of ground to make up here, but let's take a look at tonight's starting grid and get things kicked off. Starting on row number 1, Joshua Altis, Riley Bennett. Back behind him in row number 2, we will see Mitchell Williams, Gio Turpin. Back in row number 3, we will see Eldon Stewart, Isaiah Fox. Row number 4, we see Bryce Shoemaker and Mark Cyphers. Row number 5, we will see Austin Cube, Abram Ghostin, one of those playoff drivers that we just mentioned about. Patrick Camber and Kyer Bird will make up row number 6. Row number 7, Chuck Van Skyke and Ian Blanchard. Again, one of those playoff drivers back here. A little bit further back, you'll have to make up some ground. Bryce Hedgecock and Judson Curtis will make up row number 8. Row number 9, Michael Jones, Joe Spinelli. Row 10, Alex Forrest, Tyler DeWeese. Back behind them in row number 11, you'll see Keith Shoemaker and Matthew Brown, Jordan Trask, Randy Poirier, Todd Perrott, Dayton Wheeler, John Winkler, Joe Mullet. A lot of the field wrapping up here as we get set to take the green flag. We are off and racing here from Richmond Raceway, and we head into 1 and 2. Side by side for the race lead. And apologies for not finishing out the lineup right there. A lot of field here tonight and not a lot of time working themselves away under that out lap, but a little bit further back you see a big bobble there from Judson Curtis in the 29. A little bit of a bobble, but he hangs on to it. He'll now take a look to the inside of Bryce Hedgecock to his outside in the yellow 18 machine as we come around to rounding out our first couple of early laps here. Everything so far so clean and green. 35 drivers taking the lead, or taking the green flag and working themselves around here tonight. Now this is going to be a lot to work out through here. Short track racing, a lot of beating and banging will probably come out here tonight, especially out of those chase drivers. We know that they have a lot that they are trying to go for and work out here tonight. Riley Bennett under pressure here for third from Mitchell Williams on the inside. They'll be able to get clear out of that for the moment. Riley Bennett, though, still fighting hard on the outside. Williams stuck in the inside. Gio Turpin right behind them in the 84 truck. He wants to make a move to move himself up right behind these two battling in front of him. Right now, Eldon Stewart in that number 1 truck has the fastest lap of the race. Bryce Shoemaker sitting right there behind him, the 2 bright green trucks. Then further back, you'll see some of these guys start to work themselves around. We've got a wreck here, the 94 around. Ian Blanchard also getting a piece of that. In the 74. Up against that outside wall. And caution number 1 will come out on the racetrack. I believe one of those was Joshua Altis, who was the first driver to go around here early up towards the front of the pack. Yeah, pretty sure the 94 of Joshua Altis went around there. I'm not sure if he had help or anything from behind, but he definitely was the one to initially go around, and we'll have to take a look back at it here. Oh, so actually separate incidents here. I mean, the caution has already been out here with the 74, or is just kind of sort of coming out. You'll see, yeah, the caution lights are off, and Ian just gets tagged. I can't quite tell who that is in that black truck to the inside, but he gets tagged as they were starting to slow up and trying to avoid that spinning 94 in front of Joshua Altis. And we'll go back further back and see how this one... Oh, looks like he got tagged from... I believe that was Riley Bennett in the 62. Then you see the 84 or the 74 comes spinning through there after getting tagged from behind. Again, couldn't quite tell who that was that he was racing around. We'll see if we can take a better look at it here. Yeah, either way, I mean, tough break here for Ian Blanchard early in the race here tonight. And, you know, I've kind of talked to Ian here and there, and it's been a rough couple of races for him, really getting caught up in some wrecks here and there. He had a good finish at Circuit of the Americas last week, but other than that, I mean, it's been a little rough for him, and he looks to have to try and make up some ground here early on after getting some help there going into 3, trying to avoid that spinning 94 of Joshua Altis ahead of them. Well, pace car is off. Let's get set to go green once again. Riley Bennett on point. Gio Turp and Mitchell Williams right behind him. Gio slides up for second. Williams back to third. Bryce Shoemaker now will pressure him on the inside as they work themselves off of turn number 2. Trying to get it figured out and sorted out back here. This is Michael Jones in the 2 on the inside of Tony McDaniel in the 3. McDaniel, I believe this is one of his first starts here in the series. He looks to try and have a good run out here tonight. A battle for second heating up again. Williams now to the inside of Gio Turpin as we have a wreck again off of turn number 4, and that'll bring our second caution of the night. This time it'll be the 48 of Patrick Camburn who goes around. Doesn't look like there is any real significant damage to this race truck. Although this 48 team will probably want to come down and take a look at it. You see the pace car right there behind. And actually, yeah, there is some right rear damage on Patrick Camburn's truck, but not a lot of time to really spend coming down pit road here with how big of a field it is here tonight. 35 trucks here tonight entering Richmond Raceway, and already 2 cautions to kick things off. And again, already some chase drivers getting caught up in the mix of things here early on. Ian Blanchard being that driver. Patrick Camburn just being the most recent one as well, though Patrick sitting pretty far back. He'll have to, he really needed to come in here with a solid night, and again, still will need to come out here with a solid finish, but this just adds salt to the wounds. Let's go back and take a quick look and see what happened to the 48 of Patrick Camburn here. Oh, we might have to go a little bit further back. Racing the 94. Oh, looks like there was a checkup. Abram Ghostin. So Patrick Camburn got into the back of Abram Ghostin. Then the 94 of Altus got into the back of Camber and then kind of started that sort of reaction of him going around. I mean, yeah, the checkup right there out of Ghostin. Patrick Camber getting in, sliding sideways, almost had it saved, and then right at the last second, right in front of the 18 of Bryce Hedgecock, who sent him, or who helped him get sent around fully. So nothing really Patrick Camber could have done. Nothing Bryce Hedgecock really could have done either. Just again, unfortunately, a little chain reaction from in front of them, and Hedgecock right there, just nowhere to go. A good job by the rest of the field behind to avoid what was beginning to be a big stack of it and what could have been a lot worse. All right, let's try this again here. Riley Bennett, Gio Turpin, row number 1. Mitchell Williams, Bryce Shoemaker, row 2. Alden Stewart, Isaiah Fox, row 3. Into the restart zone we go. Green flag back in the air. Another good start here by Riley Bennett for the top spot. He'll slide up in front of Gio Turpin. Gio, though, taking a look there for a moment to the inside, not able to get it fully moved out. Back behind him, they are fanning out. That's Keith Shoemaker in the 4, all the way up against the outside wall of 3 and 4, but no harm, no foul. He'll settle back into the line, just running a little bit higher than the rest of these guys around him. Ian Blanchard in the 74 back here, running in currently 25th position after getting caught up in that wreck to bring out the first caution. He looks to try and rebound on that spin, although he'll have a lot of ground in front of him to make up. That's Kyer Bird to his inside in that number 8 machine. Keith Shoemaker, Matthew Brown. Matthew Brown taking a look to the inside here of Keith Shoemaker as they come off of turn number 2. Nate Lesko right behind them in that famous number 20 Nesquik machine. He looks to try and work himself through some of the traffic in front of him. Todd Perron also trying to join. Ooh, Keith Shoemaker there with a bit of a bobble coming off of turn number 2. He'll lose that spot to Brown as well as potentially Lesko on the bottom. So Nate Lesko will move himself up another spot into 16th now. He'll try and work around Matthew Brown for that 15th position. Towards the front, though, Riley Bennett leading the way. The battle behind Bennett for second, heating up between Williams and Turpin. Turpin on the outside, Williams on the inside. These two drivers, so good. We see them battle it out in the At the Checkered Cup Series Wednesday nights, bringing that same energy over here tonight at Richmond. And with Mitchell Williams missing last week, really setting him back quite a ways. He came in as the point standings a few races ago, and now all the way back to, I believe, a 6th or 8th, let's see. I had it right up here. So in 8th position, I believe he entered tonight's race after missing that race last week from Circuit of the Americas, and boy, he needs to have a good night here, and that's what he's off to so far. Putting the pressure, continuing to put it on Gio Turpin, but also now wanting to put it on Riley Bennett for the race lead as he closes in and will clear momentarily for second. Now Turpin finds himself the lone driver out there on the high side trying to carry momentum. That, though, will go to Mitchell Williams that last lap for second. So Riley Bennett, he won at Iowa Speedway, a short track here in the At the Checkered Cup Series, and now trying to win another one. Oh no, we got Alex Forrest up against the outside wall in the 77 in turns 1 and 2. So driver of the 77, Alex Forrest, will bring out our third caution of the night. Let's go take a look at this one with the 77. Racing with Abram Ghostin and Nate Lesko behind him. Does he get tagged? I think he will. Yeah, definitely get some help from behind from the 22 of Abram. And gets up into that outside wall. So already some issues with some of these guys trying to battle their trucks around another driver. And again, a little bit of a misjudgment from behind again. And just, yeah, fully gets in there with a big head of steam. You see Abram Ghostin also getting a piece of that outside wall, but the most damage and most positions lost goes to the driver of the 77, Alex Forrest, and gets it turned around, but again, you know, loses all that time from where he was racing in about that 14th to 15th area. And let's pull up those point standings. I think I should have them fixed here. We'll see. Yes, we do. So Jordan entering tonight's event. This is what the chase standings look like. Obviously, with just over 30 laps into this race, things are probably changed a bit, but this is what they at least look like entering tonight's race. And you see the top 4 so close within reaching distance of one another. And I mean, with a large field like we see here tonight, there is definitely a lot of points on the line to either gain or lose. And we talked about Mitchell Williams losing so many points after missing last week. You see him entering tonight minus 40. Right now, though, the top driver of the chase. So he really can make up some ground here if he can maintain with where he's at and continue to stay out of trouble. All eyes focused back up at the front, though. Into the restart zone we go. Let's go racing once again here from Richmond Raceway. Oh, trouble on back. No caution, and now we will see the caution. And still trying to figure it out in 3 and 4 there. I think that's Austin Coop in the 53. Stopped on the back straightaway, and yes, it is Austin Coop. It looks like there was a big wad of trucks further back there that all were just leaning off of one another, and unfortunately, Austin Coop goes around and comes to a stop down the back straightaway, and that'll bring out another quick caution here. Well, as Aston Coupe works himself around on the pit road, we will take a look back at it and really sort of take a look at the craziness that happened here coming down the back straightaway. Actually, we need to go a little bit back further, so you'll see really a big wad of trucks. First, the contact above him, they get sent 3 wide, and like, oh boy, yeah, I mean, really, it was just a lot of chaos here going into 1 and 2. You see the 2, the 3 wide in front of him. That's Jordan Tross and Trevor Brownlee behind him. I think that's the 06. Yeah, that's the 06 of Joe Mullet, who was in the middle there and who he had contact with. So Austin Coupe, unfortunately, really just being put in a difficult position here coming off of turn number 2. Joe Spinelli, Mullet, those 2 drivers getting together. And yeah, just, oh boy, then yeah, just a bunch of things happening right there. You see as well some other drivers getting collected behind them with just nowhere to go. Take a look at it one more time here. Now the contact right there sending the 06 of Mullet down a little bit further, not allowing Austin Coupe to have the exit sort of space that he needed. Those 2 get collected, and from there on, everybody else just trying to avoid and get through. All right, well, let's get things pointed back up towards the front as we get set to take the green flag in the air once again. Raleigh Bennett, Isaiah Fox, those 2 will be 1 and 2. Bryce Shoemaker in 3rd. And that bright green machine to the inside. Further back, we see a little bit of 3 wide action here. That's the 3 truck in the middle. Tony McDaniel being that driver, and that number 3 Good Wrench. A very colorful racetrack out here. Easily being able to stand out in this large field. Ian Blanchard right there in shot as well, moves himself inside the top 15 after going for that early spin early on. Slowly starting to make up some of that lost ground. You see the 45 of Tyler Bowling fighting for that spot, though, not giving it up too easily. Oh, leaning off each other behind him. Gio Turpin in the middle. That's the 18 of Hedgecock on the inside, and that 3 that we just talked about a few moments ago. He is right now finding himself in a very difficult position all the way up against that outside lane. McDaniel losing some spots there, just trying to hang on to that outside positioning. Momentarily, though, all rather seems pretty sorted out. Brownlee and Blanchard, those 2 teammates, right there with one another, running in 13th and 14th. Looks like, ooh, a little bit of a wall tap, a little bit further behind there, coming off of 2. Couldn't quite tell who that was. The drivers just sort of working themselves around the racetrack for the moment. Trying to gain some positions here and there. Nobody over too aggressive. You see Joe Turpin putting himself through wide in the middle. Get it all right behind him. I think we have a spin. That's Austin Coop in the 99. He goes around again here. Coming off of turn number 4. He'll get it going, but he will now be at the back of the pack. Riding on board with Trevor Brownlee in the 74 as he works himself, or 75, excuse me, as he works himself around this racetrack, trying to hang on to some of these positions. Looks like maybe a bit of a nudge there from Gio Turpin. Gio Turpin quickly, after making a pit stop there under that caution, trying to make up this ground. Well, he has this tire advantage. He looks to the inside of Michael Jones in the 2. Michael Jones, one of those drivers who is usually a consistent top 10 to top 15 driver. Right now finds himself in 16th. Towards the front, though, Riley Bennett continuing to lead the way. Isaiah Fox, Nate Lesko finding himself moving up further and further towards the top spot. He tries to get himself around this 25 of Bryce Shoemaker. Well, we have the moment to do it here. We're going to go ahead and go to our side-by-side commercial break here from Richmond Raceway. You guys won't miss a thing. You'll see all the action on your screen. We'll be right back with more action from the At the Checker Truck Series SimFits Chase.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We're gonna play chess while all these other boys are playing checkers.
Let's get as many points as we can. It all starts right here. Are you ready?
And the green flag is in the air. Here they come, storming to turn one. This is incredible!
Can he get it done? The grandstands are going wild. Yeah, let's go, baby! Hell yeah, boys!
They're crashing mid-pack. Checkered flag is out.
What a finish, boys.
Welcome back in, ladies and gentlemen, to the At the Checkered Truck Series here from Richmond Raceway. Riley Bennett still maintaining the race lead, but he's got some company turning up the heat behind him. You see Jordan Tross, Nate Lesko, those two have closed down the gap behind him. Riley running that high line, Jordan running that low line, and Nate Lesko right behind them trying to close in with whatever clean air he can find and whatever track these two in front of him are not using. He finds himself right behind as well. Joshua Altus in the 94. He is right back behind him, making this a really four-horse battle for the race lead. Shoemaker and Williams, those two find themselves battling it out for fifth position a little bit further back behind the top four. Let's take a look at our race recap as well. If you're just tuning in, thanks for joining us here tonight. Riley Bennett currently out in front, 66 out of 130 laps completed. 4 cautions so far on the night. Few chase drivers getting involved in those along the way. Only 1 lead change on the night so far. Riley Bennett has been in control with the most laps led of this race, and trying to hang on to that as well. He has some strong drivers behind him, and if we look at drivers that are really quick, we have to look no further than Eldon Stewart in that number 1, who has the fastest lap of the race. He currently finds himself in position number 9 in this Mountain Dew green and white machine. You see Patrick Cameron, I believe that is, in the 48, coming off of pit road right there, off the exit of 2. Some drivers coming off of pit road these last couple of laps, and maybe some of those who have had damage after getting caught up in those wrecks. But everybody else, really, nobody has been out on pit road, just kind of really racing one another and the racetrack here. And boy, this battle for the race lead heating up once again. Jordan tried to get a run, wasn't able to make it work there. He'll have to follow back in line and continue to work this inside lane on Riley Bennett. Has a good set of corners there, but again, just not quite able to make it stick there. Now you see Jordan coming up to the top side, a little bit of a nudge there. Nate Lesko with a dive to the inside for second over Jordan Tross. Lesko, Bennett, Tross, 3. Ooh, beating and banging right there, coming off of 2. And that opens up the door for Joshua Altus on the high side. Riley Bennett way up the racetrack, trying to get that truck turned down. But here comes Jordan for the top spot. Winning last week at Circuit of the Americas. He's trying to win the short track here. A little bit of a nudge there to the outside of Riley Bennett. Trying to force Bennett up the track. Doesn't work that time by. He'll have to make that inside work stick once again. But Bennett, those tires falling off just a bit. And now Jordan Tross takes the point away. But Bennett sneaks in to the inside into 1 and 2. Trying to take that position back away. Can he do what Jordan did just a lap ago? Not quite able to get the power down as well. So now Raleigh Bennett will fall into second. Joshua Altis will pressure him on the outside here of 4. Not the position Raleigh Bennett wants to be in, I don't think, unless he can clear up here. It's going to be tough. Oh, Joshua all over the back bumper of the 62 here, coming off of turn number 2. A little bit of contact, and Nate Lesko now taking a dive to the inside. 3 wide for second place. Here comes Altis in the middle, beating up the 62, bouncing back and forth, trying to hang on to the race truck, not able to make that pass completed. A little bit of a nudge to the back bumper of the 62. Shoemaker now closing in as well. Altis slams the door shut on Shoemaker. Boy, this is a crazy race for position number 2. Raleigh Bennett on the outside once again. Altis with a power move to the middle. Clears for second over Lesko and Bennett. What a move right there down the front straightaway. Now Raleigh Bennett in a hornet's nest, just trying to keep up with the rest of the field, and now looks like he says, I want no part of that. He'll back out and just remain calm and actually heads down to pit road right there. So Raleigh Bennett will head down pit road from position number 6. Jordan pulling away by about a second race lead over Joshua Altis in second. And oh boy, we've got a caution out on the track. Oh, it's the 45 of Tyler Bowling who goes around down the back straightaway. That'll bring out another caution here on the night. And Raleigh Bennett, who found himself on pit road. Boy, this is going to be a tough one for that driver in the 62. I don't think he was able to get out in front of the pace car, so he will be 1 lap down. He will be able to come get the wave around, but boy, he's going to have a lot of ground to make up, as there were still a lot of guys out on the racetrack there. While race leaders will get their pit stops off and away. Looks like Joshua Altis maybe getting out off of pit road with that number 1 position. Isaiah Fox, Tony McDaniel, those two stayed out, but they will now work themselves down pit road. So the colorful number 3 of McDaniel will come to a stop in his pit box, and let's take a look and see what happened to the number 45 of Tyler Bowling here to bring out caution number 4 of the night. That's the number 1 of Eldon Stewart to his outside. Judson Curtis in the 29 in front. Is there contact between either one of these drivers? It'll happen this time down on the back straightaway. Really right now clear of these two, Eldon Stewart, Judson Curtis. I'm not sure if maybe Judson had an issue or if maybe the 45 just lost it. We'll see what, oh, looks like Judson Curtis and Eldon Stewart actually got together in front of him. And just unfortunately the 45 getting collected through that. But yeah, the Judson Curtis, Eldon Stewart, those two with the initial contact to send that one into that outside wall down the back straightaway. Not sure if maybe Judson came down or Eldon came up. We'll see from this shot. Boy, that was a pretty decent lick to that nose as well. And it really looks like Judson Curtis was entering a little bit lower than Eldon Stewart potentially thought he was gonna be in. Those two just coming together and bring out caution number 4. Into the restart zone we go. Green flag back in the air. Shoemaker on the outside. He wants to take it into that third lane with the move on the outside. Not able to make it stick, but boy, he had potential to go somewhere there. He'll try again here in 3 and 4, but again, just not able to make it work. And boy, we got some issues further back. Oh no, Patrick Camburn in the 48. More issues for that machine. So another quick caution here tonight. And that really seems to be what these cautions have come down to. Getting that decent green flag run in there a few moments ago. But these restarts just become so crazy, so chaotic. Everybody trying to make up ground while they can. And let's go back and see Judson Curtis right there. It looks like he'll be the lucky dog, so he's going to work himself up by the field. But let's take a look here and see what happened to the driver of the 48 here on this restart. So he's starting a little bit further back behind the field. Wondering if maybe something happened in front of him to where he just got caught up with not being able to stop. Ooh, actually, no. He got tagged from behind. We weren't really couldn't tell who that was. Oh, was that Riley Bennett in the 6? I think that was Riley Bennett in the 62 who helped the 48 go around here down the back straightaway. We'll get a better picture of it here. Yeah, I mean, oh boy, there definitely some help there. I mean, there wasn't really anything out of Bennett that was too aggressive. Just really, I mean, you'll see it here. Patrick Camburn gets just loose coming off of the exit or 2, trying to get the power down, which really allows Bennett to close in a bit. Yeah, you saw it right there. That rear end stepped out, and Bennett with a little bit better of a start, just unfortunately getting into the back of him. And we'll take a look at it here. Yeah, the sideways and just trying to hang on to it with Bennett right on his bumper behind him. Just not any room for Patrick Camburn in the 48 to save it and hang on to it here. So unfortunately, Patrick Camburn will tow it to pit road, and he will find himself right now being scored in 29th position. One of those chase drivers who needed to have a good run here tonight. Getting set to take the restart zone once again. Altis on the front row, drawn by Lesko. Green flag back in the air. Altis with a good jump over in Lesko and Trask in second. Williams Shoemaker in third and fourth. Mitchell Williams, oh, a bit of a bobble there on power. Try to get that throttle down from the 54, Mitchell Williams, and boy, we got another caution back in the pack. Alex Forrest, I think, maybe got a piece of that. The 18 of Bryce Hedgecock, as well as Austin Coop, and boy, Austin Coop, his night just continues to get worse and worse as this night goes on. Already seeing him going around at least twice here, and now he'll get collected in another one. All right, well, let's check out this one and see what happened between Austin Coop and Bryce Hedgecock. Actually, it looks like it started a little bit further. Oh, it looks like it happened between, yeah, definitely the 77 of Alex Forrest, and I believe that's Isaiah Fox in the 09 that we see with the initial contact here as they entered 3, and Joe Spinelli on the bottom. Oh boy, yeah, I mean, looks like it was getting a little bit crazy there. We'll take a look at it here. Joe Spinelli takes a dive to the inside of Forrest. Forrest, goes up to try and give him room. Unfortunately, gets into Isaiah Fox. You see Austin Coop right behind them with nowhere to go. Then, Hedgecock getting clipped there at the end from the 53 of John Winkler. But this really all started with the move to the inside from Joe Spinelli. Didn't make any contact, but Alex Forrest, I wouldn't say with a huge overreaction, but definitely, trying to react in a way to where he wouldn't clip Isaiah Fox above him. Or, sorry, not above, where he wouldn't cut off the nose of Joe Spinelli in front of him on that bottom side in the 26. But also, just probably trying to not clip the 09 of Isaiah Fox above him, and unfortunately ended up doing so there. You see Bryce Hedgecock, again, just getting clipped at the very end. We'll ride on board with him. Back here a little bit off of the pace, and he sees them, starts to check up, and then right there gets tagged from the 53 of John Winkler and finds himself up against the 53 of Austin Coop. So yeah, just a lot to unfold there on this caution here. But really, the aggression level is just going to pick up, and you're going to see more moves like we saw Joe Spinelli make there on the inside, and you're just going to need to be able to have a lot of consistent spotter calls from your guy up above. Well, let's go racing again here. Joshua Altis, Nate Lesko, Jordan Tross, Mitchell Williams, Shoemaker, your top 5. Joe Turpin, position number 6. They'll work themselves cleanly off of turn number 2. Now, tire wear wouldn't really be too big of an issue here with how this race has gone so far. Ooh, a bit of a bobble further back. I think that's a 00. Yeah, that was the 00 who had a bit of a moment there off before. But going back, tires really, Trevor Brownlee with the twitch as well. Oh, no. Oh, the 00 or Cyphers, boy. Decent lick there to that inside wall, no caution. He gets it rolling back again, but he had that moment like we talked about, and Michael Jones also having a moment there too. A lot of these drivers really getting this truck kicked out from underneath them as they try and get back on the power. Looking back from Bryce Shoemaker in the 25, Michael Jones, Ian Blanchard, Todd Perrant, all right behind him. Up front though, Joshua Altis, Nate Lesko, those two remain nose to tail, and actually we will see another caution here out on the racetrack, and I'm trying to figure out who it's gonna involve, and I'm not quite sure who this one is gonna bring out. I think it's gonna actually bring out Mark Cyphers and Bryce Hedgecock in the 18. Not sure if Eldon Stewart got caught up in that as well, but I do see Eldon Stewart still sitting, or currently sitting on pit road. And actually, no, Eldon Stewart had not come back out on track, so Eldon not a part of the wreck here. But let's go back and see what happened with the 00. Actually, we might need a little bit further. Did it begin with him? That is the question. I don't think so, actually. I'm wondering if it involved the 18 of Bryce Hedgecock, because it looks like he found himself. Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, yep. A moment there coming off of 2. For the 18 of Bryce Hedgecock, he goes spinning. Racing around Isaiah Fox, as well as Kyer Bird. David Bersecki right there as well. Yeah, it looks like he just loses there coming off of turn number 2. Goes for a spin and quickly tows it back onto pit road, but I mean, yeah, you see the damage there from that. I think that's Kyer Bird also who, yep, that's Kyer Bird who just barely got into driver of the 18 as he went spinning in front of him. Again, one more look at it here quickly. Yeah, that truck just snaps away from underneath him. Just not able to hang on to it in a decent lick to the outside of the turn 2 wall, and he will find himself with an early exit here tonight. All right, well, we'll find ourselves half a lap away, just under that actually, from getting the green flag once again. Josh Peraltis, Nate Lesko, Jordan Tross, Mitch Williams, Gio Turpin, and Bryce Shoemaker make up those first 3 rows. Green flag back in the air, 27 laps to go here from Richmond Raceway. Everything mostly going smooth up at the front. A little bit further back, there's a little bit of 3 wide action. Looks like they get it sorted back out to 2 wide. Ooh, Alex forced in the wall back there just a bit. David Bersecki found himself having almost a moment there, getting what looked like it was going to be a move to the inside to make it 3 wide, but they settled it down to 2 wide. And boy, here's 3 wide action right here. The 97 on the bottom. That's Tyler DeWeese. Todd Perrant, Riley Bennett, Keith Shoemaker, those guys under a blanket 3 wide as they come up at 4. Bennett works side, a little bit of a body shot there to Keith Shoemaker on the top side, and Trevor Brownlee right behind them. Boy, he squeezes it in at the last second, and boy, we have another caution a little bit further back. It's going to be, I believe, John Winkler in the 53 to bring this one out here. So just as we were getting ready to get exciting, we have another caution here with 24 laps to go. We'll have to take a look back at this one and see what happened to the 53 of Winkler. I actually don't know if it actually did officially happen with Winkler. A lot of these wrecks have had something happen in front. Oh yeah, it doesn't actually look like it happened with Winkler. But it did collect the 23. Oh boy, what an evasive maneuver there from the 24 of Matthew Brown, able to get that car stopped. Yeah, we'll take a look at it here and see what happened to the 23. Battling Austin Coop. And boy, oh, yep, a little bit of help there from the 53 of Austin Coop. And boy, look at Matthew Brown right there. Squeeze right through that at the last second. We'll replay it back here. Yeah, watch the onboard from Matthew Brown. You see the contact right there. Gets slowed down. Comes back up across. Oh, slams on the brake and avoids that as he slid it back up across in front of his nose. So Matthew Brown, a great job right there to get that avoided. But yeah, the contact off the front end of Austin Coop to Chuck Van Scoik. That'll bring out another caution here, and another chase driver here with issues. Driver the 23 found himself entering tonight's race 5th in the standings, 22 points back. One of those drivers who has a shot at this championship battle, and boy, this one's gonna hurt him with those point standings, and he will need to make up some of that ground here in these last 20 laps. Wallfield gets set to take the green flag once again. Joshua Altus, Nate Lesko, front row. Jordan Tross, Richard Williams back behind them. In the restart zone we go. Green flag. Oh no! Early troubles. Mitchell Williams, Michael Jones, Austin Coop. More trouble behind them on this restart as we try to get going. Judson Curtis also getting a piece of that. Isaiah Fox through the grass. Matthew Brown, who just avoided that wreck a moment ago, he's involved. Bryce Shoemaker looks like he may be getting a piece of this as well. Jones with heavy front end damage here. And this number 2 machine. Boy, we'll have to go pick apart this one. Not sure if there was something happened with Mitchell Williams there. Not sure if there was tire spin or if something else happened. Going back to it, I mean, really, we have to look at Ian Blanchard in the 74. He started right behind Mitchell Williams. So let's play this and see what happened here. Looks like, I'm wondering if Mitchell maybe wasn't able to get into gear there. And you see the carnage behind of drivers just with nowhere to go. We'll run on board on the roll, or the cockpit here from Shoemaker a little bit further behind. Seeing him get ready for the restart here and start to wreck and stack up in front of him, and just, boy, everybody just trying to avoid it with nowhere to go. He gets clipped right there from, I believe that was Tyler DeWeese in the 97. And yeah, look at that hit from Michael Jones in the 2. Oh, launched up in the air, right up into that outside wall, right in front of DeWeese, and I believe that's the 3 of Tony McDaniel as well. Those guys cause a clash and a checkup, and really just nowhere to go up on the top side, then guys on the bottom side as well with nowhere for them to go. See what happened to Matthew Brown here in the 24. He gets it low, then boy, yeah, oh no, just gets collected from Isaiah Fox there on the inside as he came spinning down the track. So Matthew Brown, who had avoided that last wreck as perfect as he possibly could do, does not get away from this one and goes for a spin, ends up towards that inside wall. A lot of drivers getting collected in this one. A few chase drivers as well in that one. Mitchell Williams, Bryce Shoemaker, just to name a few. Tyler DeWeese also getting caught up in that. He was one of those chase drivers as well. So chase drivers having issues here late in this race. Back up, let's go green flag racing and see how this one will sort itself out with 14 laps to go. Oh no, Bennett around. Riley Bennett with the spin off the front bumper of Ian Blanchard. Wow, it looks like Riley Bennett might actually be a little bit lucky with how that spin went. Really able to not have a lot of damage coming out of this one. But he definitely got some help from Ian Blanchard in the 74 behind him. So all eyes on the restart here. You'll see the 62 of Riley Bennett up top, Ian in the 74, and yeah, oh boy, yep, oh, Riley just barely getting that rear end into the outside wall, and Shoemaker actually getting a piece of that as well. Ian Blanchard, though, he went for a spin there, kind of hurt those tires a bit as well. Running on board with Riley Bennett here, a little bit slower of an entry. Gets tagged from behind, and boy, just, oh yeah, yep, just really nothing he could have done to avoid that one. Well, you know, we talk about how these restarts, as they come and down to the ends of these things, short track racing, it always gets crazy, and we've seen some craziness out of here these past couple of restarts. Driver aggression getting to be a little bit more intense. You guys trying to push the issue just a bit more. This time, Ian Blanchard will get into the back of Riley Bennett and bring out the late caution here. So we will set ourselves up once again for another restart here. With just under 10 laps to go, we'll have 9 laps when we get the green flag. Make sure you guys stay tuned for post-race coverage here. Beginning at the conclusion of the race, we'll be able to hear from our race winner, as well as our podium drivers. And if any other driver wants to stop on in, we will more than gladly have them join us as well. This thing, though, far from over. 9 laps to go. Joshua Altis, Jordan Truss, row 1. Gio Turpin, Trevor Brownlee, row 2. Ian Blanchard, after that contact, he remains in 5th position. Joe Spinelli finds himself in 6th. Pace car is off. Into the restart zone we go. Green flag in the air. We're off into racing again. Shoemaker there in the middle. He'll shoot that thing to the inside, work himself in the middle there through 1 and 2. Nate Lesko trying to make some progress on that bottom side. He takes a 3 wide look as well. Alex Forrest, Isaiah Fox, those two will find themselves right above the number 20. And ooh, some contact there to Mitchell Williams. from the 77 as they try to make that stick coming off at 4. They'll still remain 3 wide. This time, though, DeWeese on the inside with the bobble as well. Boy, this is getting dicey back here. DeWeese trying to make it stick. Trying to make that pass around Alex Forrest. He'll get it done. Alex Forrest with some issues, and oh no, Ian Blanchard around on the front straightaway. Boy, the 74 of Ian Blanchard, just things have not gone his way. And again, one of those drivers who we spoke to last week after having a good solid podium finish. We're asking him what really he needed to do to maintain in that striking position of taking the chase standings top spot away. And well, he said, you know, you need to really remain out of all the craziness and stay out of trouble and not lose points. And right now, Ian, who is running inside the top 5, he finds himself right now outside the top 20th. So as he works himself down pit road, he will fall back to about 21st, 22nd. And we talk about all the craziness that can still go on. I mean, that really will hurt him in the points. Although there is still a lot of racing left to go here. Any other issues from these drivers like Jordan Truss, Trevor Brownlee, the guys around him are racing for that top position. If they have issues, they could find themselves losing points as well. Let's see what happened to the 74 though down the front straightaway here. Looks like he may have gotten into the 26 of Joe Spinelli. Oh yeah, Joe Spinelli. Looks like he got into that outside wall a bit. Coming off of turn number 2, or turn number 4, excuse me. Bounced back down and unfortunately got into that right rear of Ian Blanchard. Yeah, nothing Ian could have done there. Unfortunately, just getting a bad chunk of it here. We'll right on board with him. You'll see right here, Joe Spinelli hits that outside wall. Collects that 74 who goes into that outside wall after racing inside the top 5, and now he will have to come back from about the 20th position and try and make up some ground here within these last few laps, but it's going to be a tough one to do. All right, into the restart zone we go. Gio Turpin, Joshua Altis, green flag waving in the air. Altis with a great start. 2 laps to go there at the line. Gio Turpin tries to fall in front of Jordan in the 79. They work themselves off for 2. Everybody remaining pretty calm for the time being. But this time by Gio Turpin, Joshua Altis. Those two will see the white flag in the air. 1 lap to go here from Richmond Raceway. Does Gio have anything for Joshua Altis? He's got 1 more lap around. Right there, right in striking distance. Trevor Brownlee, Jordan Truss. Those two battle it out for 3rd. Into 3 and 4, Joshua Altis. He has no pressure from Gio Turpin behind, and he will come across as the race winner, and they wreck there in the 3 and 4. I think that's Todd Perront in the 69. Yes, it is. Todd Perront finds himself into the outside wall there on that last lap, but all eyes will focus to Joshua Altis, our race winner here at Richmond Raceway. So he will come around and celebrate here on the front straightaway after a great couple of restarts hanging on to the top spot. He will make a well-deserved victory and finish it out with a burnout here on the start-finish line. Well, we'll give these drivers a moment to get into the interview room, and then we will be able to hear from some of these drivers. As Josh Walters climbs out of the car, he is now going to be standing in front of the crowd here tonight. Josh, wow, what a heck of a race there. A lot of restarts there that you had to defend and hang on to the race lead with. Those past couple of restarts at the very end, though, you're able to really just get the restarts that you needed. But I'm sure in the back of your mind, you knew that if a driver was able to get close enough to you, they might have given you a bump for the race win. Tell me a bit about your night and how you're able to hold on there through those last sort of parts of cautions and restarts.
Yeah, thanks, Oscar. I love Richmond, man. I'm a Virginia native, so whenever Richmond comes up on the schedule, I always get pumped up. So I don't know what it is about this track. It just really fits my driving style. I generally say if I'm on the pole or anywhere qualified up front, look out, because I am one of the worst qualifiers out there. So I normally qualify 20th every week. So yeah, man, it was a hectic race. We got the pole, got wrecked early on, which set us back. Thankfully, the field did not kill us. I was waiting for somebody just to absolutely obliterate me after I got spun early, and was just able to work my way back. And yeah, I mean, there's a couple really fast guys tonight, and track position was just so important. So how it normally goes in these races, man, once we get kind of in the last 50 laps, it seems like everyone kind of loses their minds, and caution after caution just happens. Cautions breed cautions, and I've made a couple mistakes this week on iRacing where I felt like I got robbed of a couple wins this week. I had a late yellow on one of my earlier leagues, and I chose to pit basically with 2 to go and kind of gave that race away and got wrecked in another league. So was definitely driving a little bit pissed off tonight, and it feels good to end in victory lane after a tough week overall.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about getting clipped there at the start, and we're actually taking a look at it right now as you speak, and that happening while you're actually racing for the race lead. So, I mean, definitely probably, like you said, racing with a little bit of frustration under the driver's helmet. But I mean, from a driver's standpoint, I mean, I can say for myself, when you have those things happen, it can be a little bit of momentum that helps you gain, whatever you may need to work yourself up through the field. I mean, maybe not cutting as much slack up there, maybe being a little bit more aggressive to get back up towards the front where you were running before that happened. But, I mean, sometimes, maybe it's the kick in the butt that you need to just, be the strong driver that we see you be in some of these starts here. And I think last time we talked to you, we did hear you say, you kind of struggle with the qualifying a bit. I mean, I know I was kind of in the same boat as well when I was racing. Just, I don't know what it is about qualifying, and maybe what it is that makes qualifying, so difficult. You go out there and you think you're like, oh yeah, that's a great lap, and then you start to look at the standings and you're like, oh, I'm back to 13th or 14th position, and you don't really know what you did wrong. I mean, I guess from your standpoint, what do you think the biggest thing is with qualifying for you as a driver?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've always been like decent at qualifying, and then I think it's just more of a mental thing. You overthink it, right? I mean, you got 2 laps to put as fast of a lap down as you possibly can, and you come into practice sessions, and I hot lap a lot in practice sessions, like probably a lot of people do, and I might work on a race run or two, but it's just a mental thing, man. I've learned if you just go out there and try to run a lap maybe like 90% of like what the car is capable of. I think where I get in trouble is I try to go out there and run a lap 100%, and then it leaves no room for error. So like if you miss a corner, or you get back on the gas too soon and you get tight and then you got to get out of the throttle, or you get loose. I mean, it's just the margin for error is so much smaller when you're trying to put that perfect lap down. But if you go out there and just think, I'm gonna push it a little harder than normal, but nothing crazy, and just try to run a good solid lap, I've had more success that way. And I mean, it certainly helps tonight. Like I said, at Richmond, this is one of my favorite tracks on iRacing. So whenever you're going to a place that you really enjoy racing at, the confidence is high going in. So I was just thankful to get a pole tonight, and like you said, I didn't need any extra motivation coming in tonight, just because I had a tough week on iRacing anyway. So then when I got a little boot in the shorts there, it certainly all it did was just pour gas on the fire. So he's lucky I didn't get him back, to be honest. Fortunately for him, or not, I guess unfortunately for him, I guess karma is a real thing, and he got caught up in one or two things. And I'm sure he didn't mean to, but it's just frustrating, man, when it's early in the race and you get tagged like that from the lead. So it worked out ultimately. Was able to keep my cool and not get caught up in side quests, like I like to call it, and just focus on the task at hand. And feels good to end it in victory lane tonight.
Yeah, definitely feel good for you. I mean, starting on the pole, finishing number 1, 57 laps led on the night, and boy, it was definitely a heck of a drive for you here tonight. Before we go, let you celebrate some more here in victory lane, Josh. Is there any shout outs you'd like to give or any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I got to thank you, Oscar. I appreciate you broadcasting the league. I don't run in here full time like I used to. It's just my schedule's gotten, pretty hectic, and I'm on the East Coast. So it's 1 a.m. now, Saturday morning here. So, life's gotten busy. So, yeah, I like to just kind of pick and choose my schedule and race when I can. And I checked the calendar tonight and saw Richmond was on the agenda, and I didn't want to miss it. So just thank Saw and all the admin team for putting on a great league. It's cool to see how much this league has grown since I started in it. It was a little bit rough tonight with some cautions, but I was okay with it because we were just booking off laps when I was up front. So it kind of worked out in my favor tonight. I do have to shout out the Burn It Down podcast. I assume most people watching are probably race fans. Myself and my buddy Ross Tatum, we run a NASCAR podcast. It's available on YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Apple Music, or Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts and everything. And we love talking everything NASCAR. So we just had our weekend preview for New Hampshire come out tonight. We'll recap the New Hampshire race on Sunday evening. So we like to get on there and have some fun and talk all things NASCAR. So go give us a listen, go give us a like, follow. We would appreciate any support. And again, that's the Burn It Down podcast. And then I got to thank Sinvar Roofing and Solar. Anyone looking for a roof in the Virginia area or solar, I'm your guy. So I can help you either one with that. So appreciate Sinvar for everything they do for me. And last but certainly not least, I got to thank my teammates as well, SMB Motorsports, Ghostman, and we had Joe Spinelli in there with us tonight. So always a good time running with those boys. And then now, last but certainly not least, just got to shout out my wife, Jordan, and my daughter, Ivory, for letting me race. And looking forward to the next one, whenever it may be.
Well, hopefully the next one can be before the season ends. I know we got 2 races left, Talladega and Homestead, Miami, our season finale, and we'd love to see you back here before the season ends and maybe collect another race win.
Yeah, man. I'll always enjoy chasing after checkered flags. So we'll do our best and see what we can do.
Alrighty, Josh. Thanks for taking a minute to speak with us. Congrats on the race win here tonight. And again, hopefully we can speak to you soon.
Yeah, thanks, Oscar. Have a good night.
Boy, what a heck of a drive there by Josh Altis. Starting position number 1, finishing position number 1. Like I mentioned, 57 laps led out of the 130 laps here tonight. Really just getting it done in style, doing what he needs to do even after going around with help from Riley Bennett behind. He was able to battle back and through the craziness and finds himself in victory lane here tonight. And again, yeah, make sure you go check out that podcast, Burn It Down. We love hearing all things with racing in general, and I have yet to check it out myself, but I keep meaning to, but I know that is going to definitely be something that we need to check out, either as a fan or as just a group of people. I think we should all check them out and support them. I mean, especially with it being one of our drivers here in the league. Let's go ahead, though, and move on to some of our other drivers standing by. We got Gio Turpin finishing second here on the night. Gio just coming up a little bit shy there at the end through some of those restarts. You had some good restarts, but ultimately just were not able to be close enough to make a move there. Did those last couple of restarts really hurt you at all with trying to get up to speed and maybe not allowing you to maybe find yourself using that high line or that inside line with the run?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think the cautions kind of helped us stay up front. We played an alternate strategy, which kind of had us fighting through traffic there, but definitely at the end, we were able to find something there. Just didn't have enough laps, but we had a good run there in the 2-lap shootout. We're on the back bumper to the 94, so I mean, we tried to put up a fight the best we could, but I can't complain with the P2. So the cautions, it's just 50-50 for most people. I mean, I had the tires I could take, but I definitely didn't want to go to the back and get collecting any of those wrecks. So we played it safe at the end, and it paid off with a P2. So really happy about that.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about playing it safe. It really seemed like it was kind of a crazy race to begin with, and then things sort of calmed down. We saw decent green flag run there through the middle portion of the race, and then, towards the end, cautions read cautions, especially when it gets down to the end of these things. How early did you have to play this race through and work yourselves through some of those incidents that sort of happened around you?
Yeah, I mean, we were lucky. I think I'm pretty sure everyone saw the restart there. The 54 kind of Jimmy Johnson the restart and cleaned out half the field. But yeah, we were just smart throughout the race. The only time we really had to be really careful was when I pit on that alternate strategy and coming up through the field. They were like 3-4 wide there in the back for like 20th. In the 20s, we were going 3 wide for 2 rows deep. So I mean, it was definitely fighting the hornet's nest back there. But it was really fun racing all around. This isn't a track that I'm super good at, so it was fun to kind of move around and mix it up with some guys and have a fun race throughout the night.
Yeah, it was definitely a fun time to see you battle it out inside the top 5 to top 10 area for the majority of the night. Really, like you said, kind of just a little bit of luck on your side as well. But still, I mean, surviving and battling it out for a second place finish there, Gio, a great run. Before I let you go debrief with your team, is there any shout outs you'd like to give or any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Dollar Tree Toyota Tundra is really fast today. Really happy to get a P2 for them. Shout out to Dollar Tree for their 40th anniversary this weekend and being on all the Legacy vehicles this weekend. And of course, all our other partners at Legacy, Dollar Tree, Family Dollar, Mobile One, Pie Barker, Lowe's, Ally, Carvana, Advent Health, Chick-fil-A, Toyota, and everyone that helps put this 84 on the track every week.
All right, Gio, congrats on a second place finish, and hopefully we can see you here in Talladega and the season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway.
Yep, certainly. Thank you.
That was third place driver Gio Turpin. It really just battled it out inside the top 5 all night or around that area. and had a good night overall. Not one of those chase drivers that that we'll be speaking to here in just a moment for a third place driver. Neither Josh Altois or Gio Turpin are chase drivers, so really not chase drivers coming out of here with the best finishes and topping the field and having both good nights, one with the win, one with the second. So a great job by those two. And again, a rough night for some of these chase drivers, and the first driver to really survive all the chaos and continue what is going to be the hunt for the championship here is Trevor Brownlee, finishing in position number 3. Trevor, crazy night out there from, I think, a broadcast standpoint and a driver's standpoint. You find yourself really starting towards the back and then having to move yourself through the middle. We saw your teammate there running with you. Then he got involved in a few incidents. And, I think looking at the point standings, if this is correct, you didn't really gain or lose on any points there tonight. And you actually put yourself into second with all the issues that other drivers had, but still remaining 14 back. Is this the type of night that you were expecting or wanting, or is there maybe something more that you wanted out there on the track?
It's definitely probably the night that we were expecting. We always expect to run top 3, contend for wins here. Maybe wasn't the fastest car on the track and just was lucky there at the end of the race with having newer tires than the guys in front of us. But all in all, just was able to rebound, and I'm glad we're able to rebound after starting deep in the field, 30th, with just a terrible qualifying effort, and be able to come home with a 3rd place finish, and like you said, be able to maintain that gap to the top spot in the point standings going into Talladega, where anything can happen. It just feels good. Cap off a good run here tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, you talk about anything can happen at Talladega. We for sure know that, and really, Richmond, that this is really your one last decent shot at being able to really drive your outcome to chasing the championship here these next few weeks. And I think, like you mentioned, really, we know you are a capable driver. Being in the top 3, it's just really a matter of if you can get the luck on your side. And next week, you'll probably need a bit of luck. I know you probably have some strategy planned out with either your teammates or some friends there for Talladega. But then we look to Homestead, and we know that you probably will be fast there as well. So what do you think you need to do at Talladega next week to really either stay where you're at or just gain a little bit to give your shot the best possible chance entering Homestead?
I mean, realistically, to get the best shot, we would just need to finish the race. So just stay out of trouble, make sure we don't get collected in anything early on that takes us out. So just being smart at Talladega, while also maybe having other guys who are competing have some bad luck. You always hate to wish that on somebody, but at the end of the day, it's racing. And if it could swing a point standings by 10, 15 points, from a bad mistake or putting somebody in a bad spot, that can be huge, just implications on the chase. So, like I said, just staying out of trouble at Talladega, and then looking forward to Homestead, just trying to then go in there and race heads up with all the fast guys, and hopefully make the right calls and come out on top.
Yeah, for sure. You're going to need to be able to stay, in that whole race as a whole at Talladega and not have any early exit implications. Well, we turn to like the bigger picture of the sort of season, which we kind of will talk to you probably at the end of Homestead. This season summarized up for you. What would you really summarize it up to this point?
Hard work, dedication. It's just survival at some points. It's been up and down for me. Obviously with 2 wins, that's awesome. Not many other people have multiple wins this season, but also without those wins, I'd be pretty far down in the standings. Just we'd have a win and then turn around the next week and just have something terrible happen, whether it was getting involved in something of our own doing or being collected in somebody else's mess. So it's been a whirlwind, up and down roller coaster this season. I've had a lot of fun from all the way from Daytona now, looking at the last few races, and I look forward to not only finishing this season out strong and hopefully collecting the championship, but also going into next season with a little bit more confidence and knowing that I'm able to compete with the top guys here.
Yeah, definitely will be a threat here for the rest of this season, but as well as entering next season. And again, like you mentioned, these 2 wins, and we fully expect you to probably be able to be a contender for Homestead, and then as well every track probably next year once you get this season under your belt. But before we let you go here, is there any sponsors you'd like to thank or any shouts you'd like to give?
Absolutely. I'd like to give a shout out to you and thank you for everything you do here at Turn Sector Media and broadcasting the race. Like I said, it's always fun to go back and watch them afterwards and just kind of see how you cover everything for us. Also got to give a shout out to Trenton. Without all his hard work, obviously I wouldn't be here. He puts in the hours just as much as anybody else. B&B Motorsports, TB Designs, and everybody at ATC. It's, like I said, been a lot of fun. Looking forward to the next 2 weeks and many more seasons to come.
Alrighty, Trevor, thanks for taking a moment to speak with us, and again, hopefully we can see you continue out this hard-fought battle for the championship these next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
That was Trevor Brownlee, our 3rd place driver, and we kind of said he started from the back. To be exact, he started from position at number 31, so literally all the way from the back up to finishing in 3rd position. A great run there. Maybe, wanting to close in on Jordan just a bit from that 14 points that he had, or 14 points back that he had entering tonight, and didn't really net gain anything. He comes out of here 14 back, but I mean, it really, I don't think you really could ask for anything better coming out of here tonight at Richmond. I mean, maybe hoping that Jordan got caught up in one of those wrecks and didn't finish directly behind you in 4th, but realistically, I mean, that was probably as best as a night as you possibly could have gotten. And again, you want to set yourself up for Talladega as best as you possibly can, and I think Trevor Brownlee might be one of the drivers to have fully set themselves up in one of the best positions other than Jordan Tross, who, again, finishes right behind him in 4th position now. Looking at the standings, Bryce Shoemaker, Ian Blanchard, those two had those difficulties on the night tonight, and we'll take a look at those in just a second. But those two losing some ground from what they came in last week with, and just kind of not really needing to have the runs that they did. I know not really anything that either one of those drivers did wrong, just unfortunately getting caught up from other people's mistakes or just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like we saw Ian Blanchard get collected from Joe Spinelli after he tagged the outside wall, and that 74 just unfortunately had nowhere to go there and found himself nose diving into that outside wall with some pretty significant contact, and rolled down the back straightaway for a bit, or the front straightaway for a bit, and just he made up some good ground, just not what he needed to have happen here tonight. Now let's go ahead and look at our full standard race results. Unofficial to be exact, but again, involving or pending any sort of points penalties or whatnot. Joshua Altis with the race win. Gio Turpin there finishing in 2nd. Trevor Brownlee 3rd. Jordan Tross, Bryce Shoemaker rounding out the top 5. David Bersecki, Chuck Van Scoik, Joe Spinelli, Randy Corrier, Mitchell Williams, your top 10. We go on to page number 2 of the drivers here. Tyler DeWeese, Tony McDaniel, Matthew Brown, Ian Blanchard, and Abram Gostin will be your top 15. And Ian Blanchard, who we talked about there with the contact from Joe Spinelli, he rebounds to 14th, but again, losing some points because of that. Abram Gostin also having a pretty decent run there tonight, although he did enter pretty far back in the standings. I don't really think he's in any situation to be in a championship sort of fight because of how far back he is, but still a decent top 15 for him. Alex Forrest, Mark Cyphers, Keith Shoemaker, Riley Bennett, and Todd Perrant will round out your top 20. And Todd Perront, the driver who we saw going around there off of 4 on the last lap, he will be the last driver to finish on the lead lap. Going on to the next page of drivers here, we look at Isaiah Fox, Michael Jones, Nate Lesko, Judson Curtis, Austin Coop. Austin Coop with a rough night, finishing 19 laps down. We saw him get involved in at least 3 separate incidents, mostly none of his doing, just unfortunately getting caught up in something. Kyra Bird, Bryce Hedgecock. Hedgecock had a rough night as well. He got involved in a handful of those wrecks as well. John Winkler, Eldon Stewart. Eldon Stewart was showing some strong speed early on and unfortunately finishes 51 laps down. Patrick Camburn, one of those chase drivers who was kind of out of the picture, but still maybe with a decent race here at Talladega could have found himself right behind the battle with the mix. He, unfortunately, with tonight's race, will probably not battle it out through these next couple of weeks after finishing in the 30th position. Now we look to Tyler Bowling, Dayton Wheeler, Sean Timothy, Joe Mullet, Garrett Stone, Victor Etheridge, and Kyle Landu, rounding out the 37 driver field here tonight at Richmond. And like I said, a lot of good drivers finding themselves with issues here tonight. A lot of chase drivers as well, not having things go their way. Well, let's take a look here at our point standings at finishing here tonight. Jordan Tross, our race leader. Trevor Brownlee, like we mentioned, finishing in that 3rd position. He moves himself into 2nd place still, though, 14 points back. Bryce Shoemaker finds himself 20 back. Ian Blanchard 4th, 21 points back. Then driver number 5, Charles Van Scorik, there finds himself 26 points back. He still has a shot at this, although does not need another bad night. Alex Forrest, Tyler DeWeese, Mitchell Williams, those guys, they needed to have a good night out of here and unfortunately did not get the night here or the finish that they probably needed. So not mathematically quite out of it quite yet, but it's going to be pretty tough. And then everybody else from there on back, mathematically, I don't think can really make it and give a shot for the title. Well, like we said, we look forward to next week here at the one and only Talladega Super Speedway on Turn Sector Media next week. That'll be a wild and crazy one. That'll be our 2nd to last race before we head to our season finale at Homestead Miami Speedway, where we will crown this season's champion. Well, with that, though, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pretty much wrap things up here from tonight. Congrats again to Joshua Altis on collecting the checkered flag. And like he said, make sure you check out the Burn It Down podcast there. I know I will for sure be checking it out here after tonight's race. But again, big thank you guys for tuning in here tonight on Turn Sector Media. And we will hopefully see you guys back here for these next couple of weeks before this season is over. Until next time, guys, have a great rest of your night. Have a great rest of your day, wherever you may be watching. And we will see you guys the next time here on Turn Sector Media.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We're gonna play chess while all these other boys are playing checkers.
Let's get as many points as we can. It all starts right here. Be ready? And the green flag is in the air. Here they come, storming to turn one. This is incredible!
Can he get it done? The grandstands are going wild.
They're crashing mid-pack. Checkered flag is out.
What a finish, boys.